Most Christians were taught to pray for money, but no one ever taught them the kinds of work God actually approves. That's why so many believers feel torn, wanting to make money but afraid of falling into something unspiritual. Yet the Bible never demonizes money. It exposes the wrong heart behind it, and ironically, the very jobs that would bring stability, peace, and provision to Christian families are often the ones they overlook. Today, that changes. Because the truth is shocking. God doesn't bless every way of making money, but He absolutely blesses some. There are biblical jobs that attract favor, multiply income, and open doors without someone having to compromise their faith or values. And many of these jobs are so practical, so doable, and so aligned with the Scripture that once someone sees them, they never look at work the same way again. This video exposes those 6 jobs, roles that make money, build business, and honor God at the exact same time. And if that sounds too good to be true, remember this. Jesus spent most of His earthly life working a job, not preaching sermons. God has always moved through work. The problem is that modern Christianity forgot how powerful that truth really is. If you like our content, consider supporting our ministry through the link in the description. In a few moments, you'll discover the 6 Bible-approved jobs that not only increase your income, but also position you inside God's will for your business, your calling, and your financial future. And once you see number 3, something inside you may awaken that's been asleep for years. Kingdom entrepreneurship, work that builds wealth and serves God. Entrepreneurship in the kingdom isn't just a clever way to make money. It's a sacred assignment that allows a person to build something real while honoring God. He often works through business because business creates structure, opportunity, and impact that prayer alone doesn't build. When someone recognizes their work as a calling, not just a job, everything changes. Proverbs 16:3 says, "Commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will succeed." Kingdom entrepreneurship is simply that verse in motion. He understands that when someone becomes a creator instead of only a consumer, they step into a biblical rhythm. Adam was placed in the garden to work it and keep it, Genesis 2:15, proving that productive labor existed before sin. In today's world, that might look like starting a small online shop, offering financial coaching, or launching a digital business that solves real problems. These ventures make money, serve people, and reveal God's character of excellence. Many Christians hesitate to launch a business because they think money is worldly. Yet the Bible consistently shows God blessing those who manage resources wisely. Think of Joseph, who handled an entire nation's economy with integrity. His financial leadership not only rescued Egypt, but preserved God's people. A kingdom entrepreneur today can mirror this by organizing their finances, reinvesting wisely, and creating systems that reflect stewardship instead of chaos. When someone builds a business with purpose, they create value, something the Bible honors deeply. Jesus praised the servants who multiplied their talents, not the one who buried his. Multiplication is a kingdom principle. A practical example could be turning a skill, like editing videos, baking, or teaching a trade, into a structured business that makes money without compromising faith. Simple steps like defining a target audience or setting fair prices can turn a hidden talent into a God-honoring income stream. He also knows that ethical entrepreneurship allows Christians to influence culture more than sermons alone. A thriving business can employ others, reduce poverty, and create environments where godly character becomes the norm. Imagine a believer running a cafe that treats employees fairly, or a real estate business that refuses predatory practices. That's ministry disguised as commerce, and it shapes communities for generations. But what makes kingdom entrepreneurship so powerful is that it gives believers freedom. Financial freedom, time freedom, and spiritual freedom to serve God more fully. When someone's income no longer depends on unstable bosses or unfair systems, they can obey God's leading boldly. This naturally opens the door to roles like teaching, mentoring, and financial discipleship, which unfold in the next topic. Teaching, mentoring, and financial education, jobs that multiply wisdom and money. Teaching has always been one of God's favorite tools to transform lives, because knowledge multiplies long after a teacher stops speaking. He understands that when someone teaches financial wisdom, biblical stewardship, or life skills, they're not just helping people make money, they're equipping families for generations. Proverbs 9:9 says, "Instruct the wise and they will be wiser still. Teach the righteous and they will add to their learning." Teaching multiplies value long before it multiplies money. He realizes that mentoring is often more powerful than preaching, because mentoring walks side by side with someone's real struggles. In the modern world, this could look like tutoring teens in math, coaching couples on budgeting, or guiding young adults to build their first business. These roles honor God because they reflect Jesus' relational model. He taught in homes, mountains, boats, and marketplaces. Mentors today echo that method, helping people make money while anchoring their choices in wisdom. Financial education specifically is one of the most Bible-approved forms of teaching, because Scripture talks about money over 2,000 times. Someone who teaches how to avoid debt, invest wisely, or build a business isn't being worldly, they're being obedient. Practical examples might include teaching envelope budgeting, showing someone how to invest in index funds like VOO, or explaining emergency funds using the story of Joseph's 7 years of plenty. It's real-life wisdom wrapped in biblical principles. He also understands that teachers shape culture quietly but powerfully. A person who teaches children discipline, adults communication, or entrepreneurs resilience creates ripple effects in society. Jesus himself was called Rabbi, teacher, before he was called anything else. So when a believer teaches others how to manage money, build a business, or break financial patterns, they continue Christ's legacy in a modern world desperate for direction. What makes teaching so financially meaningful is that it scales easily. A teacher can earn through classes, ebooks, online courses, mentorship programs, or group workshops. For example, someone could create a low-cost online class teaching beginners how to make money with a digital skill, or build a subscription-based community around biblical financial growth. These models honor God because they multiply value while multiplying income. And teaching naturally leads to another type of work God approves: service-based professions rooted in stewardship, compassion, and practical impact, opening the path toward the next topic on serving people while honoring God. Stewardship-based service professions serving people while honoring God. Service professions rooted in stewardship are some of the most God-honoring jobs a believer can choose, because they place people above profit while still allowing someone to make money ethically. Jesus said, "Whoever wants to be great among you must be your servant," Matthew 20:26, revealing that serving is not weakness, but leadership. Whether someone works as a caregiver, counselor, nurse, or community organizer, they're living out the heart of Christ in practical form, and when service is done with excellence, it naturally attracts provision. He understands that believers in service-based roles often touch lives in ways pastors never could. A nurse praying silently for a patient, a financial counselor helping families escape debt, or a social worker guiding someone through crisis. These are ministries disguised as professions. They might not look like traditional business, but they shape destinies. And ironically, when service is done with integrity, people willingly pay for it, proving that kindness can make money without compromising values. Service professions also create trust, one of the strongest currencies in the marketplace. Proverbs 22:1 says, "A good name is more desirable than great riches," and service workers build that good name every day. Someone who shows up on time, treats clients fairly, and delivers more value than expected becomes unforgettable in business. For instance, a handyman who refuses to overcharge or a tutor who goes the extra mile eventually earns loyal referrals that multiply income without aggressive marketing. He also knows that service roles teach skills other jobs never teach: patience, emotional intelligence, resilience, and the ability to lead quietly. These traits directly influence how someone handles money and grows a business in the future. Many great entrepreneurs actually started in service roles: waiters who learned discipline, assistants who learned organization, barbers who learned client management. Service prepares a person to handle success without letting success handle them. Another powerful truth is that service-based work creates generational impact. A therapist helping someone break anxiety cycles, a teacher guiding troubled teens, or a caregiver showing dignity to the elderly. These are seeds that outlive a paycheck. And biblically, every seed produces harvest. Galatians 6:9 promises, "At the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." In God's economy, serving people is one of the fastest ways to build lasting abundance. And this naturally leads into another realm God approves deeply: ethical leadership in the marketplace, where believers don't just serve individuals, they shape systems. When someone rises into leadership with integrity, they influence the flow of money, the direction of business, and the moral climate of entire organizations. Ethical business and marketplace. Leadership leading with integrity in a corrupt world. Leading with integrity in the marketplace is one of the clearest ways a believer can honor God while still making money and building a strong business. He understands that in a world where corruption often feels like the shortcut to success, choosing righteousness, becomes a powerful act of resistance. Proverbs 11:3 says, "The integrity of the upright guides them," showing that ethical leadership isn't naive, it is strategic. God blesses leaders whose hearts and hands are clean. He knows that ethical leadership doesn't mean avoiding tough decisions. It means making the right ones even when nobody is watching. A business owner who refuses to exploit workers or manipulate customers reflects the character of Christ in a place where compromise is normal. For example, choosing transparent pricing, fair wages, and honest contracts may look old-fashioned, but these practices attract loyal clients and long-term money. Integrity sustains what hustle alone can't. Leaders who honor God also build healthier business environments. When someone treats employees with dignity, resolves conflicts fairly, and keeps their word, people naturally trust them. This trust becomes a competitive advantage. Consider a manager who prays before making decisions, or a CEO who sets biblical standards for company culture. Their leadership becomes a shield against chaos. It's not just business, it's ministry disguised as management. He understands that ethical leadership also influences how money flows within a company. The Bible warns repeatedly against dishonest scales, hidden fees, and unfair practices. When leaders avoid these traps, God adds favor to their work. Imagine a real estate agent who refuses predatory loans, or a contractor who doesn't cut corners. These individuals may not grow as fast as the corrupt, but they grow stronger, and God makes sure their harvest outlasts the competition. Ethical leadership also multiplies influence. A believer in a position of authority can shape policies, shift workplace culture, and open doors for other Christians to shine. Daniel is the perfect biblical example. He served under pagan kings, yet his integrity elevated him above all the corrupt officers. Today, a leader can influence business meetings, financial decisions, and entire organizations simply by standing firm in their values. Integrity becomes their brand, and as a believer learns to lead ethically and manage money with wisdom, something else naturally emerges. The ability to invest, multiply resources, and steward wealth in a way that reflects the heart of God. This opens the path directly into the next topic: how to grow money the biblical way, without guilt, fear, or compromise. Investing in financial management, growing money the biblical way. He understands that investing is more than a financial strategy. It is a biblical mandate. The parable of the talents in Matthew 25 makes it clear that God expects his people to multiply what they receive, not bury it in fear. Someone who invests wisely, whether in index funds, real estate, or a growing business, is practicing stewardship. They're proving to God that they can make money grow without allowing money to become their master. That balance is the heart of biblical wealth. Investing also reflects trust in God's long-term provision. Proverbs 21:20 says, "The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down." In modern terms, the wise invest instead of consuming everything immediately. Practical examples include contributing consistently to a retirement account, buying ETFs like VTI, or setting aside part of business revenue for long-term growth. Each step sends a message. I trust God enough to think about tomorrow. He knows that financial management is the backbone of every successful business and household. A person who tracks expenses, creates a budget, and organizes their money is not being restrictive, they're being responsible. Joseph didn't save grain because he was afraid. He did it because he had revelation. Likewise, today someone can use simple tools like budgeting apps, spreadsheets, or envelope systems to manage their income. Order attracts blessing, chaos repels it. Another key biblical principle is diversification. Ecclesiastes 11:2 teaches, invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come. This ancient verse is shockingly practical. It encourages spreading risk, building multiple income streams, and refusing to rely on a single source. An investor today might divide money between stocks, real estate, digital products, and a side business. Diversification protects destiny. He also understands that investing isn't just about growing money, it's about multiplying impact. Someone who invests in ethical companies, kingdom-minded entrepreneurs, or even young people starting their journey is participating in a spiritual legacy. Money becomes a tool to shape the future. This is why many believers invest in ministries, charities, and educational programs. When money is stewarded by the righteous, communities change and families rise. And once someone learns to invest wisely, manage their finances, and multiply what God places in their hands, they naturally step into a new realm of opportunity: digital platforms. These platforms allow believers to make money, influence culture, and shine God's light online. This leads directly into the next topic on using digital skills as a modern-day calling. Digital calling. Using online skills to make money and spread God's light. He understands that digital work is one of the greatest gifts God has given this generation. For the first time in history, a person can make money from home using skills that cost little to start. Writing, editing, design, marketing, consulting, or even running a small online business. Proverbs 22:29 says, "Do you see someone skilled in their work? They will serve before kings." In today's world, those kings are global audiences, clients, and opportunities that God places online. Digital platforms also allow believers to shine the light of Christ in places pastors cannot reach. Someone who posts financial wisdom, biblical truths, or entrepreneurial insights online is preaching to nations without stepping on a stage. A simple YouTube channel, Instagram page, or blog can impact thousands, and the beauty is that these platforms can make money ethically through ads, digital products, affiliate commissions, or memberships while keeping God at the center. He knows that digital work has leveled the playing field. A person with no degree, no connections, and no capital can still build a thriving business from a laptop. That reflects the heart of Jesus, who chose fishermen, not scholars. Practical examples include offering freelance services on platforms like Fiverr or Upwork, creating online courses, writing ebooks, or building a digital marketing service for small businesses. Online skills make money and open doors for kingdom influence. Another powerful aspect of digital work is scalability. In traditional jobs, income is tied to hours. Online value can multiply even while someone sleeps. An ebook written once can sell forever. A video posted today can help someone years later. This mirrors the biblical principle of seed time and harvest. Plant once, reap many times. It's a form of multiplication that aligns perfectly with God's design for abundance. He understands that the digital world also rewards authenticity, which is deeply biblical. People connect with vulnerability, truth, and wisdom, qualities Jesus himself modeled. Someone who shares their journey, mistakes, victories, and lessons invites others into transformation. And when this honesty is paired with skillful communication, the online presence becomes a ministry disguised as a business, reaching hearts and wallets at the same time. And all of this leads to a deeper truth. God is calling believers not just to work, but to work with purpose, integrity, and spiritual clarity. As these 6 biblical jobs open paths for impact and increase, a powerful prayer becomes necessary. A prayer to align money, business, and calling with the heart of the Father. When a believer finally understands that not every path to money is holy, but some absolutely are, everything shifts. God never designed his people to wander from job to job, paycheck to paycheck, wondering if their work even matters. These 6 Bible-approved jobs reveal something powerful. Your calling has always been bigger than a career. It's a strategy of heaven to position you where impact and provision meet. But now the real question is, what will you do with this revelation? Will you continue in the same routine, hoping things magically change? Or will you step into a job, a business, or a God-given skill that can actually make money and honor the one who called you? Transformation always begins with a single decision, and God is watching for the moment you say, "Yes, Lord, use my work for your glory." Think about it. Which of these 6 jobs spoke to you the loudest? Which one made your heart beat a little faster? Which one made you realize this is where God has been pointing me? If you felt that inner pull, don't ignore it. That nudge is not from motivation videos or social media. That nudge is the Holy Spirit revealing your next step. Write in the comments, "My hands are blessed to make money," and watch how this powerful declaration begins to shift the course of your business and your finances from this day forward. And if this message touched you, consider supporting our ministry through the link in the description. Your generosity helps us teach more believers how to build wealth with righteousness, courage, and biblical wisdom. Also, don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications so you never miss a new teaching that can shift your financial life forever.